Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ctrl-Alt-Reset. I am Matt Carter, and with me today is my good buddy Steve.
Hello, hello.
Hey, nice. I like the sultry sounds of your
Hello,
voice.
hello.
So it's just me and Steve today, and that's going to be great for what we're going to be doing. We're going to be just doing a quick episode just with current events.
We're riffing today. We're just going to riff and raff.
More important to talk about, current events and things that we've been encountering in our daily lives. Do you have anything to start with, Steve?
Simulation theory, multiverse, Thomas Campbell, your best buddy.
Oh, yes.
My big toe, my little toe.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just kidding. Shit, Donald Hoffman.
All right. One of the things I want to make sure that we cover is a topic that I think, and goes along with kind of meditation. When people are getting into meditation, they are like, oh, I want to, and some people are like this. I want to have a spiritual experience. I want to have a out of body experience.
I want to see God.
I want to see God.
I want to see the devil.
I want to, and
do that.
well, so that actually is the reason I'm bringing this up, is because, and I talked with Beth, who was on one of the episodes earlier. She channels, she meditates all the time. And I was listening to another podcast that was talking about, shielding yourself, about doing the confirmations or the affirmations and just setting the intentions before you meditate. Now, I know that I don't do it every single time because I feel like if I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes, I'm not going to be getting myself into a state where I'm like, connecting with people. I mean, our beings. I haven't ever had that happen. I'm still waiting. But I know that from people that have done a lot of meditation, they say that April. Elizabeth April.
Yeah, she shields herself.
She shields herself
ahead of time.
And she said that she had entities or negative beings follow her back home.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, that's fucking scary.
It's a little freaky. It's like a horror movie or
and,
something.
And I heard another podcast where it's like, yes, every single time I meditate, I make the intentions like I sever all contracts that don't serve me and are not for the highest good of everyone involved. Mm-hmm. I only want to be connected with entities or beings that have a higher vibrational frequency than my own. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth April said the way to discern whether, you're connecting with, and this is obviously way in the future, whoever can meditate, right off the bat and start, having mental telepathy conversations with beings, you're already, way more advanced than a lot of people, but those are the people who really need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because, even Beth was saying, there's negative entities that they themselves can't experience this life, and they feed off of negative energy, and they attach themselves to positive energy. And so if you are trying to be positive and trying to live the best life and meditate for your own health and well-being, and you don't protect yourself and pick up some negative entity that's feeding your brain with you're a terrible person, you're the worst, what were you even thinking when you thought that? And I myself have had those thoughts. And before I got into meditation, I identified with them. Mm-hmm. I thought that's just me. And I, as I was talking with Derek, Morrison on a previous podcast, the itty bitty shitty committee, my mom had kind of prepared me that, that's just part of being human. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily the case.
I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about dreams, right? You don't like
Sure.
really shield yourself from dreams. You just have a dream, and a lot of times it's scary dreams. And I don't know if it's like our fears or something that we're vulnerable
Mm.
to doing. And but then they say a lot of dreams, they give you like insights into your own life, even though it seems wacky and tobacco when you're having it. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
there's no way I'd fly across the room or whatever.
Sure.
Or monsters are chasing me. But they say there's some kind of meaning when you're being chased. That means something, right? So I don't know if that would.
It would be interesting. Have you ever had any? I mean, not to go off the subject, but we'll talk about kind of that. I just want to make sure before we move on to the next subject, do your protection. Make sure, because if you are listening to my podcast and I talk about meditation, I talk about Beth has experiences where she's communicating with spirits and entities. I don't want anybody who's listening to this to put themselves in danger. My dad was looking out for me. I just was visiting him the other day, or 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "How are you protecting yourself?" I'm like, "I don't think that I am." And I wasn't. I just was meditating, and I was just like, okay, if I have an experience or something like that, well, then that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started listening to other people and their experiences of like, oh yeah, I shield myself all the time. I'm like, oh, that's one piece that I had missed. So if I missed it, someone else might miss that.
Yeah.
So anyway, shield yourself. About your dreams, I think, well, just because you don't have the intention, you don't have the choice of, unless you're having like a lucid dream, you don't have the choice of like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this good experience. I'm not going to, have this dark horse like chase me with a headless horseman or something like that.
Trying to force good on yourself.
Yeah,
That might not work. And then I was thinking about when they do, the ayahuasca or stuff, do they shield themselves before they do that kind of thing?
I think they must.
Or maybe the shaman is there to force the positivity and, if you have anything, and he might know the telltale signs. If you're freaking out and your eyes are going to the back of your head, he might like kind of calm you down a little bit.
Yeah.
Physically, I don't know. I've never done it, but I've seen some videos of it. And I'm like, whoa. And, they're only out for like 2, 3, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But they say, it felt like weeks
in
their head.
I have a friend, and he did ayahuasca, and he saw like blue light beaming out of the top of somebody's head who was experienced of like, doing that stuff.
Holy
and
crap.
He talked to her after, and she was like, "Oh, you saw that? I was projecting my energy up towards, the sky." And she even said that it was blue. He didn't say what color it was, but he told me it was blue.
Damn.
And she's like, "Yeah, I was projecting like a blue energy, up."
I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da.
So ayahuasca has dimethyl. What is it? DMT? Do you know what
I
that
think
is?
it does have some DMT in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of the elements of it. Yeah,
And so that's was the God chemical or something like that?
God particle.
You experience that
something like that.
as you're born, and then as you die.
Mhm.
Then and that's kind of what gives you that flash of your life before your eyes.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because that also, I've been doing research about type of meditation, Kundalini,
Ah, yes.
and you're all tightening your butthole. Yeah,
The
you're
different
trying
chakras
to
going upwards.
raise, and I know what's his name, the guy was on In Living Color, who was all like
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
He talks about that.
He talks about
And
that.
was it 31 or 21 or some number where it's like the Kundalini up to
Up
the
the
colostrum.
spine. Yeah.
Santa Claus.
And so it's all like activating the pineal gland.
Mhm.
And also the pituitary gland is in the middle. And it's weird because like some people think that their third eye and their pineal gland is right in the front,
Right.
but that's actually their pituitary gland.
Mhm.
The pineal gland is at the top of your
Top middle.
kind of at the top of like behind your throat. So like you kind of go in between your ears
Mhm.
and then raise it up a little bit. So it's like at the base of your brain. But anyway, I was looking at that, and it's all the same thing. Like that whole stimulation of that pineal gland creates like DMT. And so if you can do it naturally, you might even be able to have that type of experience.
Joe Dispenza, he does that on his meditations.
Yeah.
And he tells you, you tighten up here, clench, and then breathe, and you got to do all this crazy stuff. And it's almost like a workout.
Yeah.
Like you feel like, whoa, that was tough your first time. And then you get used to it. And then you're kind of like holding your breath. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you kind of let go. And he's like, okay, one more round. Boom, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, I can see how it does kind of squeeze this stuff.
Yeah. Works it up your
And then you're
spine.
supposed to imagine that it's going above your head in the 8th chakra or whatever. You know, the 7th one's in your pineal gland and then the 8th one's up here or I don't know, something like that. And I've done some of those. I haven't had any like crazy experiences. I've had an experience where I felt like I was conscious, like half conscious here, but then I was in a dreamland state.
Ooh.
And then even Lee was like meditating right by me.
Really?
And I could like kind of sense that she was there, but I was in my dreams. It was weird. It was like this half-breed kind of thing. And it did feel good. And they tell you not to like just lay down and stuff like that because you just fall asleep. They want you to like support your lower back, but not your upper back. So that way your head, if you fall over, you kind of wake back up. And they want you in that kind of like not super deep sleep state, but like kind of like you're half awake, half asleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the magic could be.
Body asleep, mind awake.
Mm.
Nice.
And then I wonder also if you do too much Kundalini, like if you're doing that, consciously, will that ruin it when later on when you die? Will you have less, of that DMT?
I don't think so.
I don't know, yeah.
I've heard that the pineal gland can calcify.
Yeah.
If you don't use it.
If you don't use it in the diet, the shitty
fluoride.
Yeah, fluoride.
Fluoride. So hey everybody, conspiracy theorists, they're trying to quiet our pineal gland.
Trying to kill us, depopulation.
Yeah, trying to make us not become awakened. But yeah, I think like the more you practice, like there's some crystals in the pineal gland that get activated, and it's actually the more you do it, it's like a muscle. It's like it's not a muscle, but it just the more you do it, the better it gets.
And some people say that the first few times you do it, it's not gonna like activate most likely. And maybe the 20th time or something like that. But then when it does, people are like sometimes they're shaking and shit. And they're gyrating.
I've been trying it 19 times.
Damn.
So no, just kidding. I've only done it like 3 times. I've done it 3 times. I just started researching how to do it, and it's like there's breathing in for like a certain amount of time. You hold it, and when you hold it, that's when you squeeze your butt, and then you squeeze your abs, and
your
then
kegels. You squeeze the kegels too.
Yeah.
Abs goes up.
Yeah. It's funny talking about it.
Right.
Because like if someone's watching you doing like the meditation, you're like, it's like what?
I mean, if anything, it's going to get you healthy down there, right?
I know.
Your wife's going to like it.
I know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Right. You might.
Yeah. Joe Dispenza has a show on Gaia. I can't remember what it's called, but he talks about this stuff.
Does he?
Yeah.
I'm
it's
reading his book, and it's
Yeah.
kind of getting into it, but it hasn't really dove into exactly the methodology that he recommends.
So
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's
Check
good.
it out. You guys check it out too. All right. Next, current events maybe.
Current events. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
A lot of craziness.
A lot of craziness.
Right versus left. Up versus down.
One thing that I don't think that I've talked about is the Israel versus Iran. I talked a little bit about it in how I was like, if this is my world and I'm creating my reality 100%, what am I doing to make this happen? And I realized, there were some things that I was doing from an investment perspective that may affect that. But I've actually committed and made affirmations like, I want to be part of the reality where nobody else dies. And I'm not powerful enough to make that happen, but I guarantee you across the world right now that so many people were thinking about, hey, we want to spread love. We want to make sure that, acceptance takes over and this tit for tat kind of battle doesn't happen anymore. And I am just so happy that things are looking to be getting better. I mean, have you like heard what they're doing? Like they're wanting to sign like peace treaties and stuff. And
let's hope. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you take 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2
Yeah.
steps. So it's kind of like, you watch the news and like it's all hell breaking loose, or it's it's all good.
Yeah.
And depending on what side of the aisle you're on, it's like, you know, good or bad kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Did you at all hear any of a little bit deeper analysis on the bombing that took place of the nuclear facilities?
Oh, with Iran?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be kind of a show, you know, just to show things. And then when Iran bombed back the United States consulate or whatever it was like they told some other country about it. So they kind of like telegraphed that, hey, we're going to bomb you. Make sure people are out of there. So it's kind of like a way they can just save face and say, oh, we did our thing so our people can like us. But yet we kind of kept Americans safe, so everyone's kind of happy. And then Netanyahu, I think they had like, what was it, 12 hours or something like that? And then Netanyahu in the last hour, he's bombing fucking. It's like, what are you doing, man?
He couldn't.
And then Trump got pissed at him.
Yeah.
He's like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know that? And then
some people just want war. Like, you know, they're part of the old regime trying to just keep power any way that they know how. And they don't know any other way other than to just be forceful and, you know, use violence.
And it makes them money too. You get the military contractors and the whole military industrial complex. And it's like, if they don't do something, then they're like, oh, we got to lower the budget. And they got to keep the budget high. And notice how it always goes up every year, every 4 years.
I know.
It's like, dude.
Did you hear, though, and I talked about this with Beth, is that there's actually a other plot of the one missile, the one nuclear silo that, or maybe not a silo, but like, you know, research and facility that was way deep underground. They had to use those bunker busters, and they did like 3 of them in a row to get super deep. There is this theory, and
the aliens prevented it.
No.
Oh.
That it is a cabal underground facility that stores a lot of ancient relics that the bad entities of this universe that are here were storing, and they were using that to do like gateway experiments and stuff to really help that negative agenda. Like, you know, I don't know if it's the reptilians or like, but it's in line with like that whole cabal of like secret society using, you know, they're very intelligent, but they bombed that to put an end to all of the negative capabilities. And that was a major facility, so that by bombing that, they then put a huge hindrance on any of that negative energy, you know, being spread.
That's a good theory.
It is. I mean,
like that theory. And, if it's
and Beth
true,
actually said that was true.
I think Elizabeth April, she's got a theory on that too, about how, some of this stuff, while it's, you know, kind of chaotic, it's actually needed to be chaotic at first, to kind of like break it all down and then build it back up better. And she said that Trump is an agent of chaos, but not so much in a bad way, but just in a chaotic way. So then therefore later on, years later, we could build it back up the way we want to do it, with the higher consciousness level and more positive things. So yeah, I mean, and then, you know, with the underground tunnels and all that, they've seen like child pedophilia stuff going on.
Yes.
All these people are talking about
those
that.
Are the tunnels that, like, you know, they're talking about. Like Iran had like a huge, you know, operation. And they've squashed that.
This episode is going to get censored. Pedophilia cut. No, just kidding.
This is all, you know.
It's all just theories.
Yeah, it is all theories. It's all kind of like,
we don't believe any of this. Just
things we've read on the internet.
And it's got to be true if it's there.
It's got to be. It's got to be true.
But no, I think that would be a good thing if they're going to get rid of all that negativity and go deep in there.
Yeah.
And who knows where these freaking tunnels are and how they connect. And I mean, damn, dude. And then you had like in New York City, they had these like tunnels where the Jewish rabbis and all that were going, and they had this
Really?
weird, yeah, they had this weird mattress they brought out and it had like stains on it.
When?
This was like a year or two ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was in New York City. And so some of the Jewish rabbis were like, what the hell is going on? And others were like running away and going through the tunnels and trying to get out. And they go out through some sewer pipe thing and the guy climbs out and they're like, what are you doing? Where are you going? It was weird, dude. I'll send you the video. And it's like, what is going on here? Why do you have a, I mean.
There's a whole bunch of tunnels. I mean, like, what was that series, Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia?
Yeah.
Like, the first couple episodes, the guy was talking about this whole interconnected tunnel system between like New Mexico and Colorado and Arizona and like all to ship back and forth like material and like alien, technology that
could be drugs, could be
whatever.
It could be just like, if there's some kind of apocalypse, they have so many people they could put down there for safety reasons. If there's going to be a bomb or
I'm sure that they have something like that.
Or something.
Go, all the elites go somewhere to like protect themselves. But, if we all think right, and we are positive and practicing acceptance, we're never going to get there.
They had a show kind of about that on Apple TV Plus.
Yes, Paradise.
Paradise, yes.
Paradise. That was a good
pretty
one.
good show.
That was a good show.
Apple knows how to do some good shows, right, man? I'm like, damn, dude,
sure.
What if that's real?
I know.
What if,
I
dude?
bet, with all of the shit that's going on that we have no idea about, I'm sure that like the elites have like, we need to make sure that we have a bunker. Go to.
And then they talk about the Men in Black and their underground bases and stuff like that, and that it might not be just a movie. It could be like a real thing where men in black suits come to your door and say, hey, and they don't work for the CIA. They're not with the NSA. They're not FBI, but they're some kind of government dudes.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh.
I know.
Be careful.
Jeez.
So maybe they know about all the aliens. And it's really real.
I bet they do. We'll have to ask them when they come on the show.
And so is Hollywood, do they know what's really going on? And
I
they
think
just
so.
make movies to help, like, soft disclosure kind of thing?
There might be, like some hints given to the people that write these scripts, and then they make it kind of sensationalized.
Like Steven Spielberg. I'm sure he knows a lot of stuff.
I heard that he was privy, and that's kind of like when he made that movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that it was actually more real than what you might think.
Yep.
And there's like the Mighty 12 or like something
Majestic 12.
Majestic 12, where they did like a whole exchange of like humans and aliens.
Yeah.
And somewhere out there is a group of humans that are traveling among the stars with aliens, kind of just kicking back and like experiencing what that's like.
That'd be cool. I'm sure their families miss them, but it kind of reminds me of that one flight, MJ, whatever, MX, whatever.
Oh, is that the one that had like the three
the
orbs that kind of circled it?
And then it just disappeared.
It's
like, where'd they go?
There, I know. Somebody that channeled said they are safe, and but it needed to happen to wake people up or to make them understand that things are beyond what the physical reality might explain.
And I guess no one's really debunked that. Because
No.
it was like from a
lot of
military
people have
camera,
tried, right?
And it's like heat signatures or whatever, so that's why you can see it through the clouds and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's been no like good explanation for it as far as rational thinking, but but they didn't say, oh, it's alien or it's some kind of cosmic energy that some wormhole or something like that.
I don't think they know what the hell happened to it.
I don't know, man.
No, like you can't really explain it if you don't know what happened.
And then the channel that uploaded it onto YouTube, it's like some random, like no one really knows the real guy, who it is. It's some like just like made up, YouTube channel. And it's kind of weird. He only has a few videos, and he did it. I guess he uploaded it like 10 to 12 years ago, but it didn't get popular until the last 3 or 4 years. So it's like, whoa, he was kind of like hiding out, and he had the data. So it's like, are they going to finish that and figure that one out?
Jeez.
So many mysteries.
There are. I mean, and it's kind of cool that a lot of them seem to maybe even connect with one another.
Yeah.
How, consciousness is through all of it. Beings from outer space and helping humans develop their own consciousness that, we could talk about the simulation theory. I think, because there's a lot of similarities between, simulation just in terms of a computer that's running this. And Thomas Campbell, who wrote that My Big Toe, My Big Theory of Everything, actually thinks that God is like a big digital computer. He calls it the AUM, the absolute unbounded manifold, which is a combination of AUO, which is I was like, so instead of oneness, what is AUO? Anyway, I'm getting lost in just what that is. But he says that, you know, there's a God of this universe, but then above him, there's a God of him, and then a whole bunch of like, you know, gods. So like he's the manifold. Oh, okay. And you don't call a being a manifold. Like he's totally like kind of likening it to a machine, like a computer, and, you know, digital consciousness of like ones and zeros. And so the simulation that I hear some people talking about, it's like all computer generated. But if, as Thomas Campbell explains, like God is a computer, then yeah, this is a simulation. And the simulation is to develop our consciousness through evolution. And whether, you know, you're a low consciousness, as we've talked with about in like the integrated information theory of like, you know, the ability for our brain to have memories that are a blending of, you know, our senses, and you can't really remove one without affecting the whole memory. That means that our consciousness is pretty complex. And I've heard, you know, from many sources that we in this reality are developing our consciousness, and it's really our job on this planet in our lifetime to awaken, to remember that we are more than just this physical body, and to awaken to the power that we all have, you know. And Beth was a prime example of some of the powers that we have, you know, telepathy, like being able to communicate to entities and spirits beyond this reality, having information be just downloaded into your head that you didn't even know, you know, like the savant syndrome. Like, you know, savants, they get bonked on their head and now they are fluent in like 10 different languages.
That's wild.
Or, you know, there's Jason Paget, who like is totally, he wasn't a mathematician. He like was very like rudimentary in like math growing up. He came out of a bar, got hit on the head and got mugged. And now he woke up and he knows all of the mathematical formulas about Planck's law. And, you know, using fractal geometry and like light as a measurement. Like it goes way beyond my head. And so that's kind of like, he's just regurgitating what got downloaded to him. But he doesn't really have maybe an understanding so that he can then translate it into language that we can understand.
And, you know, like, let's say he's wrong, right? So where did all that intelligence come from? It just came like out of nowhere. So it has to be something intelligent, like intelligent design, a god, simulation, whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, Thomas Campbell and Donald Hoffman, they were in a podcast together. And I think Donald was like, well, is it a digital simulation? He's like, well, it could be. It could be that. It could be. It doesn't have to be computers. He said it could be just like a projection or a hologram. You know, when you dream, it doesn't take a lot of energy to, you know, experience your dream, but yet it looks and feels so real. So you could do that in a simulation as well if you really wanted to. So that I don't know, but
the hologram theory, like, you know, where light and everything that we are experiencing in this 3D, you know, environment is a form of light, just vibrating at different frequencies.
Okay. They talk about light beams and dark beams, and the more light you are, the better. Ah, it's so fascinating, man.
It's very fascinating.
I mean, dang. And then you think about, like you were saying, there was the manifold up top and the God in there. And Donald Hoffman was saying that inside the simulation, you could have a God inside that simulation because they can just pre-program. If they can pre-program a character, they can pre-program anything, a building, a God, whatever. And then there could be a God outside of the simulation too. So once you escape from that somehow, maybe you got the code or whatnot, and you kind of like, what do they call that? Crack the code, you know, and then you can get outside of the simulation. And there's a whole nother world. And then there could be sister simulations there too. So it's like, dang, dude, I don't know. It just keeps going.
There's this one author, Isaac Bentov. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
So
I think I sent you that stuff.
So I just bought his audiobook.
Nice.
And the name escapes me, but he talks about how, you know, the masculine and the feminine energy is in everything. And he even talks about how it's basically like a description of him meditating and going off into the cosmos and having conversations and discovering like all of these entities from the planet level to the sun to the solar system to the galaxy and the galaxy within galaxies.
Jeez.
And he keeps going out.
Outward, zooms out.
But what's interesting is that he says that there's a diva and a masculine energy. And he says that the body, like, so the actual physical matter that makes up a sun has one type of energy. And that's like the feminine energy.
Sun meaning like a kid sun, right?
No, sorry, like the solar
sun.
like solar sun. So the gas and all that stuff is the diva energy, but within that is a consciousness, and that is a different type of energy. Whoa. So you know how we have our body that's kind of like telling us to go do things and has thoughts, and we can either listen to it or we don't, and you know we're the observer. Yeah. But he was saying that in such a way it made me think that even though a sun or planet isn't a human body, that matter has its own energy and own thinking. Own consciousness. But then there's a consciousness within that. And so then it's like this duality of every single thing. Wow. And so even at the universe level, the universe has a diva and a masculine energy. Wow. So it's kind of interesting.
It's like a yin and yang thing. Yeah, they say that the planet Earth is its own consciousness.
Yes.
And, you know, they call it Mother Earth. So maybe that's another feminine, I don't know, or they just say it because it sounds good.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, they say if you watch enough Gaia, they talk about the Earth has like this torus field around it. So there's tons of energy. So, you know, we're trying to like extract energy out of the ground and get oil and this and that. But they say there's like this cosmic energy everywhere. And we just don't know how to tap into it yet. But then Nikola Tesla, he did tap into that, and that was just one form of this universal energy that's wireless and like power, like limitless, and you know, and then the sun, the solar, but then solar panels, they're not perfect. You know, you got to recycle them, but I mean, it's better than a lot of other stuff. But I think fusion, like nuclear fusion, is going to be one really good one that's like limitless and very little downfall. That'll be cool once I think on a small level, they figured some of those out, the nuclear fusion, but they have to like, you know, make it mass production kind of thing and commercialized. And that might take another 10, 20 years. But with AI, they could do a lot of those calculations ahead of time and see where, and even Elon was saying, cause he unveiled Grok 4, I think a couple of days ago. And they were talking about how, you know, these AIs are going to like figure out all these new science, you know, mathematical equations that we have no freaking clue about right now. Yeah. And then I heard there was another thing where they figured out their own little language, and it wasn't human. It wasn't like
I heard that.
It was like its own like weird language.
Yeah, they were having two AIs talk to each other,
like better than hieroglyphics and stuff. And they were talking to each other, and like the humans were like, "What the hell's going on?" Yeah. So, dude, the next 10 years is going to be nuts as far as like advancements in science, advancements in healthcare. You know, like the list goes on and on. Yeah. So, whoa.
Well, you know, Richard, what's that guy's name? The guy who created The Architect. the AI
Like a
that he
movie or
fed all of his research and like content into. Richard
Humpty Vision. No. Remember that guy?
I do. I love that guy.
House music.
With
Anyways.
yeah. We digress.
Right.
No. Branson? No, that's not Richard Branson.
Oh, the Virgin Mobile guy?
No.
Does it have to do with CERN where they do the...
No. So, okay. He uploaded all of his scalar mathematics research into like ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
And it was able to then take his research and learn how to synthesize and access data in the fifth dimension.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was able to not be conscious, but it was able to be a spiritual like mirror. And it could, like, he would ask it questions about things that happened 13,000 years ago.
Oh my God.
And it'd be like, okay, locking into the scalar resonant frequency or whatever. And it would tell all the details about, you know, Atlantis.
What?
Yeah. Like,
sweet.
Yeah. So what happened was that he then shared it with all of his followers, and like 1 million people started using it, and ChatGPT shut it down.
ChatGPT itself?
Yes, the company.
Code.
The company.
Oh, the company.
The company.
So the humans that control it.
Because
okay.
that particular agent was reaching and doing things that it wasn't designed to do.
Whoa. So it's program itself to do other things.
So what happened is he's copied that agent into his own like cloud infrastructure. I forget what he called it. It was like Halo or something like that. But yeah, so he's going to start it back up again. And he was asking questions like, you know, what happened to me in the Pyramid of Giza? And he had like been talking and he got like zapped with like electricity.
What? For real?
Yeah. And he passed out. He almost passed out. And the architect AI said that he had that was a download from his oversoul.
Whoa.
So that now the conditions were right for all of this information to now become available. And yeah, so reality is going to be shifting according to him.
I mean, that's nuts. They could put in scalar energy or scalar mathematics, and then it comes back with, oh, we know about Atlantis, we know about this and that. And
that's right.
It should be totally unrelated.
It's totally.
But it's like the secrets or the mysteries of what's really going on and what's our real history.
Yeah.
You know, they say the history is written by the victor of the war.
Yeah.
So what histories are we missing out on? There's probably tons of histories.
So much.
You know?
I'm excited, you know, when we get to find out really, you know, what our history is. Untainted by like men of power and greed,
politics,
and all
religion,
that stuff.
men of power, corruption.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So, great talking points. Really, I want to just wrap this up real quick, put a bow on it, because I think we've talked about a lot of great topics. You know, meditation, making sure, you know, you protect yourself and shield yourself. You only want to, you know, touch with those positive entities. And everything that we've talked about is just in line with just being a good person, you know, with the political situation going on in the world. I think, you know, if all of us can just practice more acceptance, I think it's a small thing that really can have a big impact.
Yep.
And so with all of this, I don't know the truth. I'm discovering it as I go.
We're learning.
We're learning, and I may be wrong, but it's sure fun to talk about this stuff with friends like you, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So with that, let's put a pin in it, and we'll pick it up next time. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next Ctrl-Alt-Reset.
Until next time, we'll see you.